my name is Paige Biaggi, and this is my Sports Performance Science and Coaching Lab Final Practical. This is my client, John Smith. He's 35 and works in an office all day. Because he's sitting for the majority of the day, we're going to do a functional movement screening with a deep squat test. This is to see the mobility of his hips, his knees, ankles, and also his core stability. And then I'm going to be looking for proper alignment, so how far forward he's going, side to side, his depth, so how far deep he can go into the squat, and then also his balance. So go ahead and take the first one, hands shoulder width apart, legs shoulder width apart, and then have it 90 degrees over your head, and then press up. Beautiful. And then go ahead and do as deep a squat as you can. Perfect. And then, because he was moving really far forward, we're going to try it with his heels up. So go ahead and do it again. Same thing, arms above your head. Better. Beautiful. Okay, go ahead and put that back in the center for me. The second functional movement screening we're going to do is a Rotary stability test. This is because he has some lower back stiffness, so we're going to test his core strength. We're going to look for like a neutral back, his stability, his coordination. And so what you're going to do is you're going to have your thumbs, your knees, and your toes all connected to each side of the line. You're going to start, so straighten your arms, and then you're going to try and go same arm, same leg out, and then touch the elbow to the knee. Okay. And so try it opposite hand, opposite leg. So straighten your arms, opposite hand, opposite leg, go out, and then touch the elbow and the knee together. Go back out, and then return it back. Perfect. Go ahead and stand up. So those were the two functional movement tests. The two exercises we're going to do. The first one is a Turkish get up. So the muscles it's pretty much a full body workout, but the primaries are the deltoid, the triceps, and the rectus abdominis and the quads. The purpose is to increase the full body strength, mobility, and stability. The equipment is, we're just going to use a mat. You don't need it, but if you want a little bit of padding and don't want to just be on the ground, you can use that. And then we're going to use a kettlebell or a dumbbell. The joints and body position are we're going to start laying down with the, in this case, dumbbell straight above us with a straight arm. And then we're going to keep a neutral spine the entire time. So I'm going to start with my arm extended. I'm going to rotate to push up with my other arm, kind of get into a kneeling position, and then stand up. And then I'm going to reverse to go back down, keeping the dumbbell above me the entire time. An analogy to think of is like, imagine there's a rope above you and it's pulling you up. So the technique we're looking for is kind of pushing up onto one arm, rotating the knee, the leg, the heel, so you can get into that kneeling position, and then standing up from there, kind of like a squat. The phases are a concentric core and an eccentric quads and glutes when they're lying down into the kneeling position, and then eccentric core and concentric glutes and quads when moving from the kneeling to the standing position, and reverse all the way back down. The second exercise we're going to do is called bird dog. For this, you just need a mat. You don't need a mat if you don't want one though. The primary muscles are pretty much all the core muscles, including the abdominis, rectus, and the obliques. The glutes, the shoulder muscles like the deltoid and the trapezius, and then also the triceps. The purpose is core stability and lower back strength as well as balance, and these will tie into the Rotary stability functional movement screening we were just doing. You're gonna pretty much start the same way, but without something in between you. So just keep the shoulders in line with the wrists and then knees in line with the hips. You're gonna just go opposite arm, opposite hand, out and back out. Out and back. And so you can touch the elbow to the knee for a more difficult variation if you would like, but in this case, we're just going to work on the core and then we can progress there if you want. An analogy is kind of imagine that you're on a ledge and you're reaching for something, but if you start reaching for something in order to counteract the leaning or pulling forward, you're going to move your leg back for balance. But we want to make sure that we're not leaning. We want to keep everything in line, and we want to end kind of like a table, drawing a straight line from the top of the hands to the end of the toes. So really just extend the opposite arm all the way out. We don't want any movement in the back. We want to keep it straight back. Pause for a second when you're extended, and then return back to normal. The phases are concentric of the deltoid and quads, and for the extended part, and then isometric for when you pause, and then also your core is isometric pretty much the whole time, and then eccentric when returning, so the deltoid is coming back. Cool, you're good. How many times did